Let's start. Okay, it's really great to see so many people in today's webinar. We have several surprises, as Ben mentioned. In this webinar, we are going to do it. We are trying to do it in an interactive way. I'm going to start with a quick overview of INO first, and in the second part, we're going to see some live examples based on today's forecast and also recent forecast that the AI algorithm was generating basically already today for the upcoming week. So another important point in this webinar, we are going to see many examples, many live examples. The idea is to illustrate the capabilities of the INO first AI algorithm. Don't try to buy those stocks that we are going to talk about here. It's important that you will understand how to utilize the AI algorithm before you're taking any actions in your portfolio. INO first is a fintech, AI fintech company. Our main solution is a predictive algorithm that basically identifies the most important, promising investment opportunities in the market on a daily basis. The AI algorithm is basically generating daily prediction for the market. In order to generate this forecast, we are utilizing artificial intelligence, more specifically deep learning, artificial neural networks, genetic algorithms. The algorithm is generating daily forecasts for over, Ben, can you close? Yeah. The algorithm is generating, we still see a window, Ben, can you close this? Yeah, thanks. The AI algorithm is generating daily forecasts for over 13,500 assets that are coming from different asset classes, equities, which is our main focus, but also ETFs, commodities, currencies, cryptocurrencies, which are pretty hot right now, world indices, interest rates with daily forecasts for multiple time frames, short-term, mid-term, and also long-term. This is a global solution. We are covering over 50 global stock exchanges, including the stock exchanges in the US, but also Europe, and basically most of the significant stock exchanges around the globe. And if we jump in quickly to a recent example, the market is closed today, so basically we took some live predictions from Friday, from the last trading day. We can see here the forecast based on the AI package. The AI package is focusing on different AI companies. And we can see here two examples of two tickers that the algorithm has highlighted as opportunities for the short term already on Friday before the market opening. We can find here Shopify that jumped by more than 2.7%, and also PTOM that jumped by over 6% in the market on Friday. This is an example to illustrate the short-term forecast. Basically, every day you are receiving daily forecasts from multiple time frames, short-term, including the time frame that we have just seen, the 3 days, but also mid-term and also long-term. And if we jump in for another example from the last webinar, Ben, you want to talk about this example?
Yeah, sure. In the last webinar, to whom that participate in the last webinar that took place on the 6th of November, we gave you the best level 1, level 2 sectors, as we're going to do today. In the end of this webinar, we're going to see what the algorithm think about the sectors, the main sectors and the subsectors of the S&P 500. And in this case, in the last webinar, we can find that the algorithm is pointed out the XLC, XLK, XLY, and we can see that XLY and XLC jumped in 3 and 6%. XSW, the software and services sector, that jumped over 8%, and that's less than 1 month. And we have the XSD, the semiconductor, and the XTN, which is transportation subsector, and all of those jumped and were good decision calls by the AI for the level 1 and the level 2. And again, we're going to see what the algorithm thinks about December, which sectors are the best to be in for the next month. So you should wait for the end of this webinar.
Yeah, before I'm continuing with the slide, I see a lot of people that raising their hands with questions. Please use the Q&A window in order to ask questions. We will try to address all the questions by the end of this webinar. So feel free to ask any questions also about specific stocks that you might interested to analyze by using the I know first algorithm. We might have a few surprises for you at the end. Okay, so a little bit about the brains behind the I know first AI predictive algorithm. So the I know first predictive algorithm was developed by our unique R&D team that being led by Dr. Lipa Reutemann, a scientist from the Weizmann Institute in Israel. Dr. Reutemann has over 20 years of experience of research in artificial intelligence and machine learning. Dr. Reutemann is a chemist with several patents that he basically invented, and he is leading our R&D team that includes PhDs, AI and machine learning experts. We have math professor from Tel Aviv University, as well as employees with the background of data science, math, statistics, physics, and also ITS veterans, specifically from the intelligence unit. Ben Rubin, that is here today, leading the webinar, is the head of our advisory team. With Ben used to work for one of the leading banks in Israel as a financial advisor. We have in our team engineers. We have people with the background of data science, capital market experts. My name is Yaron Golger. I'm the CEO and co-founder of I know first. I'm also the chairman of the Israeli FinTech board, basically in the Israel Export Institute. I'm lecturing for FinTech and AI at the Reichman University, one of the leading universities in Israel. I'm an engineer with extensive experience in the consulting firm. The I know first predictive algorithm is being trusted by the world's leading hedge funds, investment houses, banks, family offices, as well as brokerage firms, and also retail clients, high net worth individuals, and also individuals that using the algorithm in order to identify opportunities in the market on a daily basis and to receive insights regarding the direction of the market and specific opportunities. In this list, you can find several banks, several hedge funds, and also you can find here several investment firms, including Beitav, one of the leading investment houses in Israel that actually was using the very same predictive algorithm that you see here to launch the first AI-powered investment product that is listed in the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, the first AI-powered mutual fund. We are going to discuss it in this webinar as well. The solution that you're about to see has received several international awards, including from UBS, Entity Data in Japan, the Geneva Wealth Tech Forum as the best international AI solution. And in the next slide, you can see several, Ben, can you? Yeah. The I know first predictive algorithm has received also coverage in the world's media. You can find those videos in our video section in the website. In the website, you can find also client reviews that can assist you to identify the best package basically for you. And today I would like to start the webinar with 5 things that you don't know about the I know first AI predictive algorithm. So the first thing, something that is really pretty unique, the I know first AI algorithm is not a black box. It's possible to basically to identify the top contributors for each forecast. In the market, there are thousands of elements that are basically supporting our forecast, and it's possible to identify the factors that provided the biggest weight for today's forecast. Another thing, the Innovest AI algorithm is basically generating the forecast on a daily basis. So basically, you're going to receive the forecast every day before the market opening. The forecast for this week has been already sent. The forecast for Monday is basically being sent already on Sunday. And basically, every trading day, you are going to receive the most updated forecast before the opening, basically. There is no human intervention in the process, in the prediction process, and the algorithm is basically independently builds the thousands of correlation sets that exist in the market and building the forecast on a daily basis without any human intervention or human bias. The predictive algorithm is basically changing on a daily basis. The market is changing, and the predictive algorithm is being changing every day. And that's why it's adapting itself to the different market regimes, positive market or negative market. And another interesting thing about the predictive algorithm is that it's not only a research tool. We are one among the, basically, it's very unique that we are also developed AI-powered investment product, mutual funds, that basically being used and being listed in the markets today. And this is something that is quite unique, and we're really proud about this development and this partnership as well. Ben, tell us, what do we see here?
So whoever didn't join our WhatsApp community yet, you should do so now. Yaron is putting the link in the chat, and you can join us, our team, which we always share some articles about AI, some future forecast, and a lot of trading ideas in this potential WhatsApp group. So feel free to join us. And even today, at the end of this webinar, we're gonna publish the Max 7 forecast, the Magnificent 7 forecast for the next 2 weeks. So you better join it now. You can join by clicking the link in the chat that you can see in the Zoom bar in the bottom. So join our group. We have a lot of surprises. There's a lot of interesting sales, forecasts, articles, and we're talking about the market, the trends. So feel free to join us and to see today the real live forecast for the Max 7 for the next 2 weeks. So you get a forecast for free. So we'll see you in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, so from this webinar, we are going to start to use the WhatsApp community to share several predictions, as Ben mentioned. And it's going to be interesting. Feel free to communicate with us by using the WhatsApp. We would like to see all of you in this channel, basically, in this community. So basically, I Know First is providing two solutions to our clients. On one end, we are providing daily forecast that basically generating forecast for the market and basically identifying opportunities on a daily basis in the market. This is the left side of this slide. On top of that, we have developed several systematic trading strategies, and and each strategy is being converted into AI-powered investment product. We did it with one of the leading investment houses in Israel, Meital. We are doing it with another investment house that exists in Israel, more that offering several institutional products based on the very same strategies that we're going to see today. So it's possible. On this webinar, basically, we are going to focus on the opportunity to use the daily predictions in order to identify opportunities, but it's also possible to take it to the systematic direction and to develop products by using the very same predictive algorithm. The INOFER's predictive algorithm includes 3 components. We are going to discuss the different components in this webinar. By utilizing the first component, it's possible to identify the most promising investment opportunities on a daily basis, opportunities for the short term, mid-term, and also for the long term. By utilizing the second component, it's possible to receive stock market intelligence to identify sectors that are emerging, indices that we should focus on, and also regions around the globe that basically that are emerging, and also sectors and regions that we should avoid. On top of that, it's possible to customize the prediction and to focus on each client portfolio. And basically, by combining those 3 components, it's possible to announce the investment portfolio, the existing portfolio that you have, and to identify opportunities on a daily basis. So how we do it? Every day, the AI algorithm is collecting quantitative data that's coming from the entire financial market, from the different stock exchanges that we are monitoring, the equities market, the interest rate environment, the commodity market, the currency market, even the cryptocurrencies market. We are combining thousands of correlation sets to our historical database, and around the clock, without any human intervention, the algorithm is building the thousand correlation sets that exist in the financial market. There are thousands of correlation sets that basically not static, they are dynamic correlation sets, and the algorithm is building a model and building those correlation sets. And before each trading day, the algorithm identifies the most promising opportunities for the different time frames, short term, mid term, and also long term. And the algorithm is also learning from each forecast and basically improving itself by learning from the successes and also from the failures. We are combining different AI approaches into one machine learning algorithm. We are utilizing deep learning, artificial neural networks, genetic algorithms, reinforcement learning, and the purpose of the entire process is to focus on the most predictable assets on a daily basis. The algorithm is always separating the predictable part from the noise. And if we're taking, for instance, the S&P 500 universe on a daily basis, the AI algorithm is separating and focusing on the most predictable assets from the S&P 500 universe. And all the examples that we are going to see today are always while the algorithm is basically focusing on the most predictable assets. So the stock picking process is being started while the algorithm is basically monitoring and learning the entire US market. We are applying our unique technology, our unique AI algorithm, in order to focus on the most predictable stocks. Then we're creating the ranking by using the signal filter in order to identify the best stocks for the different time frames, short-term, mid-term, and also long-term. This process is being basically updated on a daily basis. So basically every day, the output of this process is the top stock picks for the different time frames. Ben, how to read the daily forecast?
Yeah, so the forecast comes in the shape of a heat map, as you can see, which the green cells represent long position, while the red cells represent short position. And we are using two main indicators to rank the entire investment universe. One is the signal that is located on the center of each and every square, and the other is the predictability filter that you will see it on the bottom left corner of each and every square. The signal is actually represent the predicted movement of the asset or the potential movement of the assets, It's our internal index. And it's basically help us to rank the entire forecast from the stronger asset that have the strongest signal in the top left corner of each and every forecast. In this example, it's MHO, and the signal is going down to the right until the bottom right asset. In this case, it's CORT that have the strongest signal for a going down asset. As you can see here, minus 43.9. And the predictability filter is actually helping us to see and understand how good the algorithm can forecast a specific asset, or can you read the specific asset. This is Pearson correlation measurement, and it moves from -1 to 1. Basically, we are looking for higher predictability levels and highest signals when we are choosing our stocks. We'll see a few examples in today's forecast and try to read together some forecasts and how to focus on the best stocks. So those two indicators help us to focus on the best stocks that the algorithm provide us on a daily basis. And this is how the forecast looks like. We have a 6 time frame, as Yaron said, the shortest time frame of 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, and longer time frames of 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year. We have the green cells and red cells in each and every time frame, but we can see that we have multiple. Some stocks are in multiple time frames. For example, EAT, we can see in this specific example, it's actually in all the time frames from the 3 days of and the 1 year. So that's what you get on a daily basis. You get you get the forecast with 6 time frames that you can choose to which time frame you want to focus on. And let's see a few examples from the recent days. In this specific forecast, we can see the 3 days time frame forecast, as we can see here. It was generated on November 24, and the algorithm gave us the best stock to invest in for the next 3 days. This specific package is focusing on small stocks. We can find stocks such as CRNT that moves 10%, or ICLK that jumped 65% in 3 days. We have MAPS, for example, from the software services, or Real from the luxury goods, or even biotech companies as DMAC that we are seeing here. In the bottom, we can find the I know first average of this specific performance, and it's compared to the benchmark, which is the S&P 500, as we can see here below. So this specific forecast in a 3 days time frame outperformed the market by more than 9.5% in average, which is quite extraordinary for 3 days forecast in a short time forecast. If we go up the scale, we go for the 7 days. We can see that the signals and the predictabilities filters are getting stronger as we go up the time frames. Here we can find MSTR that I think most of you heard about in the last recent weeks. The firm that MicroStrategy, of course, that holds I think the biggest numbers of Bitcoin coins, and it's jumped by 32% in the last week from November 13. We also have Coin, AFLM, Hood, SQ, Tesla, PLTR, and Sophie. So we're seeing that the algorithm is actually located in finding us the best stocks in the US market to invest in for those 7 days that we can see in this specific forecast of 7 days. If you go up the scales again to 14 days for some longer time frame, some longer forecast, you can see RKLB with a jump of 43%. You can see AGUT again, in the crypto universe is also here as well. We can find Shopify. You can find LMND that jumped by 55%. So the algorithms actually on a daily basis give you the best opportunities to invest in for 6 different time frames. In this specific case, we can see that the average was 70% if we were buying the entire 10 stocks compared to the S&P that moved by 2.76 up on those 14 days of trading. We can also see the longer time frame that we were actually suggest to focus on. For example, the 1 month. Again, we can see that the predictability here are much higher. If we just check, for example, MSTR or Shopify or Palantir, that made a lot of buzz lately. We're seeing that the predictability here is around 0.5. 0.5 or 0.49 actually represent 75 probability of the asset to move to the predicted direction. So in this case, the PLTR Palantir company jumped by 43%, MSTR as well, and Shopify. And we are talking about October 19th. That's before the elections, before Trump was elected to be the president of the United States. And we actually can see that the algorithm gives the best stocks for this time frame of 1 month, and you can see the results in the bottom, 28% in average for this specific forecast.
Yeah. By the way, what's interesting about this prediction is, as you said, that it was generated before the election, right? And also, we can see here several tickers that we even saw in Friday's forecast. For example, Shopify. So the algorithm had a bullish 1 month forecast for Shopify, and we have seen it also in the short-term prediction. PLTR in this timing, I think there were many analysts that were negative regarding PLTR, and it's interesting to see that the AI actually had a very interesting unbiased opinion about PLTR. And we see here multiple Bitcoin stocks such as MSTR, as you mentioned, and also CLSK, before the recent jump in the Bitcoin price, basically.
Yep, yeah. Seeing a lot of interesting companies. Also in the 3 months time frame, again, Shopify, PTON that jumped by more than 100% in 3 months. You can find PayPal, Roku, and a lot of others. And here we can find the predictability levels are much higher, and the signals also are quite stronger than the other time frames. That's why we always suggest to focus on the longer time frames of 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year when you choose your best stocks to invest in. And of course, to whom of you that like to invest for longer time frames, we also have a 1 year time frame that we can find here. And here that was generated on November 30 in 2023. And we can see one interesting stock that the algorithm actually suggests us to hold for 1 year, and that's one is MSTR. Actually, you don't need anything else in your portfolio if you just bought MSTR, but you can also have Google, UPST that jumped by almost 200%, CLSK, CRWD, Lyft, a lot of interesting stocks that made a lot of really good performance in the last year. So all of you that like to invest for longer time frames, you can always find this time frame in the forecast. And another package that we have is the ETF package. The algorithm identified the best ETFs from the US market, and here we can find some examples from the last month in the 3 days time frame. We can find here XSW, which is the software and services sector, and capital markets, and of course FAS, which is the financial ETF that's leveraged by 3, and of course IWP, which is they're referring to the Russell index. So in this specific forecast, and the algorithm gives us the best ETF from different indices and geographical places. So you have it on the 3 days, and even you can see an example here for 1 year, which the algorithm puts in the top of this forecast, TQQQ, the technology index, leveraged by 3, that made almost 80% in a 1 year time frame. We can also find XLK and FAST, as we saw earlier. And this specific ETFs are holding multiple stocks in their holdings. So if you don't want to buy just a specific stock, you can just buy an ETF that holds approximately by 50 or 70 stocks in their holdings. So that's lower the risk of your investment. And it's actually a really good thing to add to your portfolio, or to see where the markets are going, which sectors are going to be the best sector in the following month or 3 months. So I really like this specific forecast of ETFs. And
by the way, in the 1 year prediction, the signal for if you're comparing the signals of TQQQ and the signal of QQQQ, you can see that the signal is almost 3 times stronger at TQQQ, and of course, the performance is also quite similar to the signal strength. Just interesting thing that I've just noted.
Yeah, exactly. And we can also see XHB, which was a really interesting sector last year, the home builder sector, that no one actually talked about in 2023, but the algorithm puts him in the list even in the beginning of 2023, and we can see that the returns in that year, or in that specific month, was pretty good, more than 50% in a 1 year time frame. And yeah, Yaron, you want to tell us about the short option that we have in the forecast?
Yes. So another thing that is unique about this predictive algorithm is basically the algorithm is generating opportunities for long opportunities, but also on a daily basis, the algorithm is generating daily prediction for the S&P 500 and also stocks that you basically should sell or short sell if you have the capabilities to short sell. In this example, you can see 2 interesting predictions. One prediction is from March 2023. We started to see back then negative prediction for the S&P 500 index. And in the bottom of this heat map, we started to notice that actually the signals in the bottom are stronger than the ones that are appearing in the top part of this heat map. And among the assets, you can find here several stocks that are coming from the banking industry, including Silicon Valley Bank that basically collapsed during this time frame, and also First Republic Bank (FRC) that collapsed later on during this period. And on the right side, you can see similar example from February 2020. We had a negative prediction for the S&P 500, and the strongest assets came from the bottom. And we all remember what happened during this period, while we started to see actually the effect of the coronavirus on the US market, basically. So it's really, I would advise you to take into consideration, and it's important to take into consideration the daily AI-powered forecast that the algorithm is providing for the S&P 500 itself, and also to monitor the strongest signals in every heat map that you're going to receive.
Yep. And this is an example why you should always come to our webinars, basically. And you have to stay until the end, because in the last webinar that took place on November 6th, we showed you what happened in the opening of the market from this specific forecast that we can see here. This is a screenshot from the last webinar. We told you those 4 stocks for the next month were chosen by the AI algorithm for buy for the next 30 days. And the results of those four stocks are to your right. TWLO made 16%, PLTR Plantier made 25%, EAT made 15%, and XPO made 2.58%. That was given to you in the last webinar, just right after the elections, if you remember, and those stocks actually went up. They're really strong and were recommended by by our algorithm. So you have to keep on coming to our webinars and be tuned up until the end of this webinar, that we're going to give you some other recommendations that the algorithm sees from the next month, which are the best stocks to hold for the next month. And in the same day, actually, I wanted to show you something interesting about the abilities of the AI algorithm. In November 6th, this is one of our hedge fund forecast, and I just want to show you that in the same sector, the XSD, which is the semiconductors, and the SOX, which is also the semiconductors, the algorithm gave a positive forecast for XSD, but a negative forecast for the SOX. The difference between the two, it's the weights in XSD. The stocks are in equal weight, while in SOX ETF they are not in equal weight. And just check the performance of those two assets from November 6th up until the day. We can see it here, pretty good. XSD moved by 1.2%, while SOX went down by 5.5%. I think it's quite remarkable because it's the same sector, and just the weights are different. And this is how the algorithm divide the better sector from the worst sector. And we're going to talk about the SOX, by the way, in the end of this webinar. We're going to see what the algorithm thinks about the SOX and what he thinks about XSD. So I think it's going to be interesting. So stay with us up until the end. And in the same way, in the last Friday, is the SOX forecast or semiconductors forecast. You can see the algorithm gave us 10 best stocks to hold for the next 3 days. I took just 5 of them because still we don't want to give all our recommendations for free, just some of them. So this 5 stocks was sent to our clients, to our members of the service. We can find a wolf in the head of the forecast with 1.1 signal, and we can see that it jumped on Friday by 7.4%. We can also find the LCC and CLAB that also moved up according to the AI forecast. Another example for that is what Yaron actually showed you earlier. You can see SHOP and PTON that also made some really remarkable performance in 1 day of trading. I remind you, this is a 3 days forecast, and this is what just happened on the first day of this specific forecast. And of course, you get 10 stocks and not just 2 from this specific universe. The Russell index, which is getting really interesting right now and getting a lot of momentum in the last few weeks, as we all saw. So we have also a Russell package, a Russell 2000 package that actually collects all the best stocks from the Russell 2000. And in this specific forecast, we have a few stocks, as we can see: URBN, PLCE, NEO, EAT again, and VCL, and we can see the performance of them to the right here. I remind you, the S&P went up on Friday by 0.7 or 8%.
0.5%, yeah.
0.5%. So the majority of those stocks actually outperformed the S&P in the same way, and the Russell itself went up by 0.4%. So that's even more remarkable because we are choosing the best stocks out of the index itself. Another really interesting sector that we are providing a package from is the XLY, the consumer. You can find some interesting stocks there, as you can see here: Tesla, BBWI, TPR, ETSY, and LULU. All of them were recommended by the algorithm on last Friday, of course, before the trading starts. So you can also get this interesting package, the XLY, as one of your packages that we're offering you in our website. So this is a really good example from last Friday. And I want to talk about a little bit the timing of the forecast and the algorithms timing abilities. We can find this specific stock LMND, which was really famous lately, and see when exactly the algorithm provide a positive forecast on. We can find it on November 17. The algorithm gave us a pretty good forecast on LMND, and we can see for the next 2 weeks, the stock jumped over 57%, which is a remarkable performance for one stock in a 2 weeks time frame. But we can see that even a few days after the recommendation, which was around here, the stock keep going sideways, but then on the 19th, we can see a big jump, and then on the 20th again, remarkable jumps that gave us 57% in a 2 weeks time frame. And of course, another interesting example is PLTR, Palantir, also with 35%, since the algorithm gave the recommendation on. Sorry, it's not 31, 35, it's 135%. And we can see the algorithm gave a really positive forecast for Palantir from even the beginning of September. And we can see this huge jump of the stock for a 3 months time frame as well. And CVNA, also Kavarna, was recommended by the algorithm in November 22, 2023. It's 1 year ago. And Yaron has some strong feeling for the stock, but we can see a jump of 730% in the last year, which is actually crazy. I have nothing else to say about the stock, but Yaron can tell you better what he thinks.
I have a confession to make about CVNA. I actually bought CVNA on November 2023 for my personal portfolio. But unfortunately, I didn't hold it until today. I sold it. You see, it's quite a volatile stock, so I sold it around 100, and I didn't wait until the entire time frame. Unfortunately, it was too volatile for me. But still, this is exactly it's a very good example why the predictability is so important. You see that among the stocks here, CVNA represents a nice combination of nice predictability and very strong signal. And it was part of the prediction for different timeframes, not only for the 1 year timeframe, but it's a very good example why we should consider the predictability and the signal, and also all the timeframes, not only the short timeframes. We strongly recommend you guys to focus and to take into consideration all the different timeframes that you are receiving on a daily basis. By the way, in this example, it's interesting to see that, again, we see a lot of many Bitcoin stocks. We see here CLSK, we see here Riot, we see here SQ, BITF. All of those are Bitcoin stocks. Interesting.
Yeah, the algorithm saw the trend even last year. And let's talk about what's going to happen in December. We saw what's happening in the Geeks Level 1 and Geeks Level 2 since the last webinar, but I want to talk about December. And if we're looking on the statistical way, we are actually in the beginning of December, which is one of the best months to be in. And if you're looking at the S&P 500 index return in average since 1928. So we are in the beginning of this, exactly the beginning of this month, which looks pretty good if we're looking at in a historical way. And if we're checking some of the leading investment houses in the US, such as Morgan Stanley, banks such as Goldman Sachs and Barclays, that giving the S&P a really high prediction, more than 6,500 points price target in the end of 2025, which look pretty promising if we are talking about the next year in the S&P 500. And another small anecdote about what's going to happen in December, if we're checking one of the biggest rallies in the S&P since 1985, we can see that generally after a big rally, which actually performed in the last 11 months, December is basically most of the time green and showing some good performance as well. So statistically, December is going to be positive, but let's see in a few minutes what the algorithm thinks about December in the market. Another thing I want to talk about, and we actually mentioned that in the last webinar, is the BAS package. The BAS package holds all the interesting, hot, trendy stocks that you can think of, the stocks that you talk about your friends while drinking coffee in the morning or in lunch breaks while work. We can see the big list and interesting list of all the stocks that includes in this specific package. And the algorithm scans on a daily basis this entire list and give you the best opportunities from this list. And we can find here MSTR, MicroStrategy, of course, soar, Sophie, the AI Bank, Carnival, Pfizer, Uber, of course, all the Max 7, Nike, Morgan Stanley, ExxonMobil, and we also add to the crypto lovers the Bitcoin forecast as well, the gold forecast and the silver forecast. And so I think it's a really interesting and good package for these days because we are seeing those stocks everywhere in the news, in the social media, and this specific forecast is focusing on those stocks that are mentioned a lot in the social media, in the news, and I think it has a lot of potential. And we actually talked about it in the last webinar, and gave you a few examples of the ability of this specific package right from the last month. Actually, we can see a lot of forecasts that we had in a 3 days time frame, for example, SMCI that jumped tremendously by 30% in 3 days, AFRM that still look quite potential, MicroStrategy, of course, Sophie. And in the 7 days, we can find Coin, the interesting stock that actually is trading cryptos. We can find Tesla, Palantir, Wood, the Robinhood stocks. Also, we can find it here. And so this package holds all the interesting and trendy stock that everybody talks about in the market. And I think the most interesting thing about this specific package that from the 11th of November, in the next following 14 days, the market actually went down by 0.14%, while the average of this package made 12.43%, which is remarkable for a going down market in the specific 14 days of a time frame. And again, a lot of interesting stock, all the trendy stock that everybody talks about, everybody's seen the news and in the social media. We wrapped it up to one interesting buzz package that I'm going to tell you how you can get in the next few minutes. And another interesting thing that I wanted to talk about is the Palantir. In the last webinar, if you remember, we also showed you, I showed you a small part of the buzz package, which stock was leading the buzz package on November 6th, and it was PLTR, and we saw the stocks made almost 20% from November 6th up until now. And I have an interesting thing to say about this stock, because I guess some of you after, I don't know, 18% or 20% would say, and maybe it's time to cut, to take profit or sell the stock. But the algorithm kept this long position on this stock for a while, from the beginning of November, even a little bit before that. The algorithm gave a really long and good positive forecast about this specific stock, and we see that it actually made some significant return. And that's in a 3 days time frame, and even after that, we saw the good performance of PLTR. And the next subject is our best stock picks for 2025. I guess some of you know this interesting report that we are actually launching in the beginning of each and every year, of holding the best stock picks as ETFs, commodities, currency, cryptocurrencies for the next year, and which actually asset you should hold for the next for 2025 for the entire year. So this report is actually launched every beginning and mid and in the middle of the year as well. But in this January, we're gonna launch this interesting report. And why it's so interesting? Because in the special model, we are choosing the best asset to hold for the entire year, and you can see some past reports that are actually available for you in the website. You can see the 2023 report, and in a few days you're can see the 2024 report, which was excellent as well. But for the 2023, you can find the stocks that the algorithm has told us to be in for the entire year. So we can find here NVDA, AVGO with 100%, LRCX with 87%, CZR, URI, and a lot of other stocks from different sectors. The algorithm can focus in each and every sector and tell us which are the best stocks to buy for the entire year. And in the same way, it's doing that for indices and ETF and industries. We can find here the best indices to be in. It's the Nasdaq 100, the Dow Jones, the Brazilian Bovespa, and the Nifty, the Indian Nifty, and a variety of other indices that the algorithm told us to hold for the entire year. And as well, we can see the sectors that it told us to focus on. We can see the semiconductors, we can see the technology, and the VGT, again, technology sector that the algorithm suggests us to hold for the entire year. So this report is, I think, one of our best products. It's launched in the beginning of the 2025. But we offered you that in a special sale that I'm going to talk about right away. So for the Black Friday sale, we're actually presenting 3 interesting sales. One of them is 25% discount for every package in our website by typing the coupon code BF2024. Yaron just put a link to the package page in the chat, so you can click on it and see, and after typing the coupon, you'll get the discount of 25% for each and every package that in our website. The second sale is the 1+1 for $2.99 per month, which I think it's quite amazing sale. You buy one and you get another package for free for $299 a month. In this specific sale, you can choose the Buzz stock that we talked about earlier. It's not available on the website. You can only get it by this special sale that Yaron put the link on in the chat right now. So click on it and just choose your 2 best packages. You can do some interesting combinations, such as the top 10 or AI package, ETF package, and with the Buzz package. And I think it's a really remarkable sale that is available only for the next 24 hours. So you have to hurry up. And I think the most interesting sale that we have on this Black Friday, it's the 12-month subscription deal while you're choosing 2 packages for $269 per month, and you're getting for free the best stock picks for 2025, or you can choose the Buzz stock package and get it for free for the entire year. I mean, you get actually, after choosing 2 packages, you get the annual report for free, or you can choose the Buzz stock package for free from the entire year. So you're actually getting 3 packages in a lower price. So the link for this sale is in the chat right now. So you can choose between those 3, 25 discounts for every package in the website. And you can get the 1+1 for $2.99, no commitment. You can stop anytime, and the 12-month subscription deal, while you can choose 2 packages for $269 and get the best stock picks for 2025, and it's updated on the middle of the year. You get that as well for free, or you can choose the Buzz stock package that I think it's really interesting right now, really hot, and has a really good potential for those days. So those 3 Black Friday are available in the chat. They're also available in our website, iknowfirst.com. You can also find the 3 deals there.
Yeah, before continuing, the Buzz package is available only in the 1+1 packages on the 1+1 deal. So this is one point based on the questions that I see on the Q&A. So the Buzz is available. It's not available on the website. It's only available in the 1+1 deals, or the monthly deals, or the annual deals. And another important point I think you mentioned, but just to highlight again, the 2025 report is being updated on the middle of the year, and the people, usually it's like a separate product, but all the guys that buying this Black Friday deal is going to receive this special product for free again on the middle of the year. So you're basically receiving 2 reports, one on the beginning of 2025 with the best opportunities for the entire year, and this product is being updated after 6 months, and you're going to receive it again for free, no extra charge.
Exactly. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of artificial intelligence trading strategies. As Yaron said at the beginning of this webinar, we are generating a lot of systematic trading strategies that based on different investment universe. If it's the S&P 500 universe, if it's the Geeks Level 1 or Geeks Level 2 universe, the sectors, subsectors of the S&P 500, and we're gonna show you a glimpse of what we do in those strategies. Again, those strategies are based on the S&P 500 stocks. They're rebalanced once a month, and of course, it's no human hand are intervening in the strategies. The algorithm is providing the stock on a monthly basis. And we actually just get the stocks and by the strategy. So we have a different kind of strategies. If it's a combined strategies that I'm going to talk about later on, or the long only strategy, take profit, or lower risk strategy, we're actually generating strategy to each and our institutional clients. And I'm going to show you 2 examples for those strategies. The one is the 25 stocks long only S&P 500 strategy. In this specific strategy, the algorithm picks 25 stocks out of the S&P 500 and actually giving us the best stocks from the S&P. And we can see that the return of this specific strategy that was sold to one of our biggest investment house in Israel is generated 227% in the past 4 years, compared to the S&P that made 73%. This is a really successful strategy. Just by choosing the best 25 stocks, we outperform the market in a really good way. Here we can find the returns of the strategy in each and every month, and the outperformance of the benchmark in the end of this table. We also have some Sharpe ratio and volatility measures inside here to show the risk level of this specific strategy. And another interesting strategy is focusing just on 3 sectors each and every month. Out of the 11 GICS level 1 sectors, the algorithm choose 3 best sector to invest in. And of course, with the long only, we don't do short in this specific strategy. And this strategy also sold to one of our leading investment house here in Israel. The total return of this strategy was 141% from 2020 up until 2020, almost the end of November 2024, and generate 141%. And I think that's unique because the algorithm can focus and identify the best sector to be in each and every month. And we can see the yearly return of the performance of the strategy compared to the S&P, and we actually beating the S&P in each and every year, which is quite remarkable. And even in 2024, the strategy made 30%, while the S&P is around 25.3, and with good Sharpe ratio and Sorrentino ratio, we succeeded to make a really successful strategy. And I'm going to show you a glimpse of how it works and how the algorithm choose the best 3 sectors. Before that, I can show you a quick snapshot of the last rebounds that took place on October 16. The algorithm told us to focus on XLI, XLC, and XLY, the industrial, communication, and consumer discretionary sectors. And we can see that they all almost outperform the market, and the total return of this specific strategy was 5.3, while the S&P made 2.45. In a institutional world, beating the market by more than 100%, it's phenomenal. Basically, those institutional clients are looking to beat the S&P in each and every way that they can. So even 1%, so 2.5%, it's more than impressive. And I'll just show you a quick table of how the algorithm choose the best sector in each and every rebalance. We can see here all the 11 sectors of the S&P GICS level 1, but the algorithm, the one that are in yellow, were chosen by the algorithm in each and every rebalance. So we can find here all these picks for 2020 and 2021, and we can also find it up until 2024 in November. We can see a lot of communication, a lot of consumer, some XLB in most of the time. So the algorithm every month focus on the best sector to be in, and you can take that to your advantage as well. By some packages that we talked about earlier, the indices package and the ETF package, you can also get the best sector from the algorithm. And if there's any institutional or hedge fund clients in this webinar, please feel free to join us, and can actually build some investment strategies for you as well. You can do it by the website or by my mail, benarstudio@first.com. Crypto world. Yaron, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yes. The crypto world is super interesting, specifically since the election. We see all the movements in this market, and we see so many opportunities in the market. And basically, what's unique about the crypto package, there is no fundamental research for the crypto world. There is no, earnings. There is no analyst that basically monitoring this new asset class. And basically, we're offering a very unique solution for that. Our algorithm is screening and learning more than 200 crypto assets on a daily basis and creating the very same ranking that we have seen for the equity universe, for the stock universe, for the crypto world, with the same different, very same time frames, short term, mid term, and also long term. So the very same prediction for the multiple time frames is being sent on a daily basis just for the crypto market. Here we can see several examples. The first example is a short term one. We can see the 10 cryptos that the algorithm highlighted on November 22 for the short term, and we can see the unique signal for XLM. And take a look of this magnificent performance of XLM during this time frame, and also look at the unique signal of XLM. Very unique signal for XLM, very strong signal. And in accordance with the forecast, XLM jumped by over 79% in just 3 days. Same.
We can't hear you at all anymore. But he's right, XLM was quite amazing jump. Also in the 2 weeks time frames, we can also see the Dogecoin that was performed pretty high with really good signals as well. And Matic also made some nice performance in the last 2 weeks. Yaron, you're with us again? You can hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Sorry for that. Okay, so I was talking about the 14 days. I guess you were talking about this unique prediction and about XLM as well.
Yeah. Let's go to the
here
1
we can
month
see
as well.
forecast that actually came before the election, right?
Yeah.
Generated before the election, and in the first place here,
The
we can
Dogecoin.
find Dogecoin, right?
Exactly.
Elon Musk crypto coin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
That
very
jump around 160%. And again, XLM also moved by 437% in less than a month. This is very volatile, but outperforming the Bitcoin itself. So we are offering a variety of crypto packages to our clients. You can choose those in one of the sales that we have, Black Friday sales, but again, that's a volatile universe, as we all know, and we have to, of course, be aware of the risk that involved in those assets. In the same way, we are offering a variety of packages that you can purchase in the website. One of them is the World Indices that is focused on 175 major indices around the globe. I found this specific package very, very interesting. You have the US indices inside. You have some European indices, some commodities, some sectors indices. I think it's really interesting, and combining this package with some stock package could be a nice combination that we're going to talk about it soon. The fixed income package, commodities, which would get very popular lately as well. I saw some of the questions in the Q&A asked about the natural gas and oil, so you can find the forecast for those commodities, of course, in this specific package. We have a currency forecast, we have different geographical stock exchange forecast, if it's the Canadian stock exchange, if it's the European, if it's the UK, and Japan, Italy, Japan, Australia, Hong Kong, and even the two Chinese stock exchange, Shenzhen and Shanghai, and we also have, of course, an Indian forecast, which also was quite popular, and we have a really good collaboration with one of the biggest brokers in the Indian market, Finvazia, while we're delivering on a daily basis for more than 200,000 investors in the Indian market, our forecast for the Indian market. They can choose between large cap, mid cap, and small cap, and can switch between the time frames. It's available in the app as well. So this is one of the collaboration that we are proud of. The Indian market is really live and bubbly. And before we are looking at what's going to happen in the next month, actually, what the algorithm thinks about the next month in the market, let's see what we had in the last webinar and what was the results for those forecasts. Here we can find on the indices forecast, by the way, that I talked about earlier. And we can see, for example, from the 6th of November, that was in the last webinar, we saw the Chinese market, the CSI that we see here, that jumped more than 70%. We can see also the volatility of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and we can see that move by 22%. And those two was the strongest signal in this forecast. I'll remind you, of course, the predictability is also important, and but as well as the signal, we can find a very high signal, and those two assets made some significant move. We can also find NWX, which is the networking index. We saw SPCY, which is the S&P 600 small cap stocks, that also jumped by 7.7%. We saw the Nasdaq went up by 2.37%. And we saw KRX, which is the regional banks in the US, with a good predictability, and the Nasdaq 100 as well, jumping up, and it's really sweet. And of course, we gave you a positive forecast for the S&P, and that one moved by almost a little bit above 2%. In the negative side, we can find the SOX. So we actually warned you and told you about the SOX, the semiconductors sector in the November 6th, and this sector actually went down by 4.5%, which is quite amazing. I think that the algorithm has warned us from this specific sector, and not being in this sector can save us a lot of money. And let's see what the algorithm thinks about the next month, December in the markets. Let's see what the AI algorithm thinks, and we can see it in this specific forecast from the Geeks level 1. Let's start with the Geeks level 1 and then go to Geeks level 2. Geeks level 1, it's the 11 main sectors in the S&P 500. And we're seeing here that XLY, the consumer discretionary, still has the highest signal, but XLC, which is the communication sector, has the highest predictability level. We can find it here by 0.66. We can find here XLK, which is the technology sector, the financial sector with XLF, and the industrial XLI. Those are the 5 leading sectors that the algorithm is actually marked for the next month. And we can also see in the bottom of this list XLV, which has the lowest signal, and it's in the bottom of this forecast. So the algorithm actually tells us to focus on those 5 specific sectors. And if you are checking on the level 2, the subsectors, the algorithm is actually tells us to focus on XSW, which is the software and service sector, XTM, which is the transportation, and we can find here as well KRE, which is the regional banks, and the semiconductor sector as well is the leading subsector for December. So We saw XSW actually performing pretty good last month, and the algorithm still gives a positive potential for the next month. And if we are looking more in a global way, we can find some interesting stuff in the indices forecast as well. One of the leading sectors are the banks in the US. We can find BKX is leading this specific forecast. Tel Aviv Stock Exchange also looks quite positive. We can see regional banks as KRX. We can still see the S&P 600 small cap. We can see the small cap stocks are trending right now and still looking positive and leading the forecast. The Nasdaq is looking quite strong, more than the S&P 500, but after it, we can see the Nasdaq 100 and the Russell 2000, which also looks quite positive for the next month. The Dow Jones, we can see it here, is actually performing as the S&P 500, which is quite interesting. We saw it for a long time beneath the S&P 500, but now it has the same signal. The networking is still looking quite good. Real estate, world real estate, RMZ, also look quite positive. And we can find as well the DAX, the German DAX, moving up to the positive side after being for a long period in the red side of this table. The Russells, of course, the Russell 2000. Look the difference between the Russell 2000, which is RUT, to the Russell 3000 and the Russell 1000 that is located on the bottom part of the green part of the forecast. And if we are switching it to the red part of the forecast, we can find the VIX and VXN, the volatility indices, in the bottom of this forecast, which means the volatility is going to get lower and lower during December. And we can find the European banks, SX70, which we see here, is pretty negative. We can find the semiconductors is still in the red side of the map, but we saw the XSD positive, if you remember earlier, in this specific forecast. So again, there's a difference between XSD and the SOX. The Brazilian market is also quite negative, and Hong Kong Stock Exchange looks still quite negative. Asian market right now doesn't look that good. We can also find here the Taiwan Stock Exchange, Taiwan market also quite negative. Ron, you have anything to add to
Yeah,
this?
it's interesting to see the volatility in the bottom of this heat map, and basically we see a risk-on market positive forecast for the main indices, negative prediction for the volatility indices, and very interesting sectors we see here. And you can utilize the packages in order to use and to conduct the stock picking from the very same sectors right now, and to outperform the market by using the AI basically. So in the stock picks, in today's stock pick, you will find a really interesting mixture from those sectors and from those industries basically.
Exactly. But the main focus here and the main, I think, saying from this forecast is we're seeing the main indices are still positive. Focusing on the banking system, we can see BKX and KRX, regional banks in the US. Technology also still look quite positive for the next month. And if you want to see the Mag 7, the Magnificent 7 forecast, we're gonna launch it in a few minutes in the end of this webinar to the WhatsApp group that we have. I know first WhatsApp community. So you have the link to join us in the chat right now in this interesting group and see a lot of cool forecast articles about AI and a lot of trending stocks and forecasts that we provide exclusively on this WhatsApp group.
So by the end of this webinar, basically, this is the last chance to you to join to the WhatsApp group. By the end of this webinar, we are going to post the Magnificent 7 updated forecast for the 14 days timeframes. Of course, we do suggest to utilize the prediction on a daily basis and to monitor all the different timeframes, the short term, mid-term, and also long term, of course.
Yep. And let's do a quick review for our Black Friday sales just before we're going to answer your questions. So the first sale is 25 discounts for every package in the website that's available for the next 24 hours. You should use the coupon code BF2024, and that will give you the discount. Please do so before paying. I mean, just type the coupon before paying, and then you can see the discount that we provide in this Black Friday sale. The second sale is the 1+1 for $2.99 per month. No commitment. You can choose 2 packages and the Buzz package as well in this special Black Friday sale. I remind you the Buzz package is not available on the website, on the regular website, just on those 2 sales, Black Friday sale 2 and Black Friday sale 3. Which is the 1-year subscription deal that you choose 2 packages, and for $269 per month, you get 2 packages, and you get the best stock picks for 2025 for free, or you can choose between that or the Buzz stock package that you get for the entire year on a daily basis. So this is the third Black Friday sale, which I think is the coolest, and it's available for the next 24 hours. Only 25% coupon code BF2024, 1+1 for $2.99 per month. No commitment. You can choose any 2 packages that are available for this specific sale. And the third sale is the 12-month subscription deal that you get 2 packages for $269 per month, and you get the best stock picks for 2025, or choosing the past stocks. Another thing about this sale that you can switch the 2 packages on a monthly basis. Once a month, you can choose or change those packages to any package that you like. So if you started with the top 10, you can move to the S&P 500 and then ETF every month. So this is available for you from the Black Friday sale number 2 and the Black Friday sale number 3. All right, let's go over some many of your questions. I see there's a lot of questions, but before that, let's tell what we chose that we think that is the best combination for the next month. Yaron, go ahead.
Okay, for the upcoming month, I like the first package that I would prefer is the top 10 stock picks. The risk level is a bit high here, but there are very interesting stocks in this package. We have seen during this webinar the prediction for the top 10 from the last month. You could find their MSTR and PLTR and other promising stocks. And another interesting thing about the top 10 stock picks that it includes also daily S&P 500 forecast on top of the stock picks that the algorithm is actually identifying on a daily basis. So that's the reason why I like the top 10 stock picks for the upcoming month. And on top of that, I think the ETF package is also a very good and very promising package for the upcoming month. We see a lot of promising ETF, both sectorial ETF, but also regional ETFs and other ETFs. The algorithm is basically screening more than 800 ETFs on a daily basis and identifying the best ETFs for the upcoming days, for the upcoming short term, mid-term, and also long term. So I think it's a very good starting point, this unique combination between the top 10 and the ETF picks, basically.
Yeah, and my picks are the Buzz package. I'm telling you, even I hear from some clients that already using this package for the last month, and they are really excited about this package because all the best and interesting stocks that are in the social media or the news right now that everybody talks about in this package. We're seeing some AI package, some even crypto-related package, banking package, banking stock, sorry, even Mag 7 stock, the entire Mag 7 is inside. We have the Bitcoin forecast, as I said earlier, and all a variety of a really interesting stock that I think that are really trending right now. So I think this is the must-have package for the next month. And on the other hand, the S&P 500, more traditional stocks, some big cap stock that related to the S&P 500. I think this combination for the more risky kind of world with the more traditional kind of world can be a good combination for the next month.
Okay, great. Let's take some questions from the crowd. What do you think?
Yeah, we have quite a lot. So let's see some questions that we didn't answer during the webinar.
Yeah, so one question that I see a lot of, so basically they're regarding the Black Friday deals. So basically we are offering 3 deals for this Black Friday, then basically extended Black Friday for you guys. So the first deal is a 25 coupon. You can find it in the webinar chat right now. You can use the coupon code BF2024 and you are receiving 25% for each package. So this is the first one. The second one is the 1+1. Basically, you can choose 2 packages, and for a very good price of $299. And you can choose also the base package that is the darling of Ben Rubin, and the baby, maybe the new baby, the second baby of Ben Rubin. And and here this package is already discounted, and that's why you will not find the coupon code there. So, but there is no commitment in this package as well. You can basically change your 2 packages on a monthly basis just by sending us an email with the 2 packages for your upcoming month. And the third deal is basically an annual deal, 12-month subscription for $269 per month paid annually. And here you can choose again 2 packages, and you are receiving for free the 2025 report, including the best opportunities for the upcoming year. Or if you prefer, you can choose the best package, the very same package that is the second baby of Ben. And you're going to receive basically 3 packages for the entire year. Again, there is no commitment in this, in terms of the packages combination, there is no commitment. There is 1 year commitment for the subscription, but you can change the two packages every month. Every month you can decide that you would like to focus on specific sector, or other sector, and you can change the 2 packages every month. And basically here you're receiving 3 packages for the upcoming year, right, Ben? Ben, you're muted.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, of course, you can choose the best 2 packages and change it every month. I really like this deal, and I think that the stock picks for 2025, which basically usually used to cost a lot, around $700 by itself, and you get it for free. I think it's one of the best deals that you can have, and it's available for the next 24 hours. Okay,
Right.
any other question? Let's see.
Okay, I see a lot of people are asking about the predictability and the signal. So the predictability ranges between -1 and 1, has been explained. The higher it, the better. If you're comparing it to percentages, 0 is around 50% in terms of each ratio. And of course, the higher the better, the higher the predictability gets, the better. And we do suggest to focus on the most predictable assets on every forecast that you are receiving. Specifically, we do suggest to utilize the long-term prediction in order to identify the most predictable assets. You are going to receive a tutorial right after joining with all the tips and the frequently asked questions, basically.
I see also a question about the crypto miners, in which package can you see it? So, for example, Mara, CLSK, Riot, they are all in the top 10. They can perform. They can be shown in the top 10 package. This is one of the package that's can also show crypto miners if you're interested in those companies. But if you wanna choose between several crypto miners company, you can take the package of the examined portfolio, for example, and choose 10 companies or stocks that you want to get the forecast at, and you'll get the 6 time frame forecast of those companies or stocks. So you can do so as well in the examined portfolio package. What else do we have here? People asking about the 1 year. It's good that you like the 1 year forecast. We cannot provide it here. Of course, you can join one of the packages and see the 1 year forecast for the ETF. I see some of people asking about the longer time frames, and it's good. You can join one of the packages and see the 1 year time frame. It's really interesting. I'll tell you that.
Very interesting. Yeah, there are very interesting opportunities for the upcoming year, definitely. Okay, many questions, many compliments, Ben. This is another thing that I see here. Of course, the focus is being updated every day with the best opportunities for the different time frames. We do suggest always to utilize the most updated forecast when you're taking investment decision. Basically, the algorithm screens and basically presenting to you on a daily basis the best opportunities right now. So that's why we're suggesting to utilize the most updated forecast before taking an investment decision. We don't have intraday predictions. However, we do have short-term model. You can find it in the pricing page in our website as well. This model is generating daily forecast for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, up to 6 days. So it's also available in our website. Any other interesting question, Ben?
Answer most of them. Let's see.
Yes, I think we answered most of them. So every month, actually, I'm asking you regarding. Actually, you're asking me about my packages combination for the upcoming month. I'm going to ask you today, what is your favorite Black Friday deal? Which deal you're buying to your father, basically, for the upcoming?
I'll take the Black Friday sale to be with my eyes closed. Let's say this is the one I choose right away, because besides the 2 packages that you have for $269, you can choose between other 2 products that I really like. which is the stocks pick for 2025. Will you just buy the stocks for the entire year and get an update in the middle of the year? Or you get the best package that is quite a roller coaster of interesting stocks and a lot of a variety of opportunities that the algorithm gives us in those specific days. And of course, you can switch the packages every month, the two packages. So I think this is the winning Black Friday sale for me.
Okay. There is another interesting question, whether we're recommending to invest in all the 10 stocks within the time frame. Well, we do suggest to monitor the indicators that Ben explained us today about, and basically to focus on the most predictable assets and to try to utilize the different time frames in order to build the best portfolio for you, basically. So this is my answer regarding this question. Any other question, Ben, that you would like that you see here?
No, just telling you, it's available for the next 24 hours to use it because the sale are not gonna be here soon again. So use those 24 hours to get those deals, and I think you're gonna enjoy it for the next following month. So
Okay.
get those deals. And of course, thank you very much for joining us.
Last question. I see a question about several aviation stocks. We do have specific package for the aviation industry. Just use the 1+1 deal and send us an email right after, and we will change your package to the aviation package. Tell us what is the combination that you would like to receive, and we will make sure that you are receiving the daily forecast for the aviation, for stocks picks from the aviation industry, basically. Okay. Ben, thank you very much for a very interesting and basically fascinating webinar.
Thank you, Ron. And thank you all for joining us on our monthly webinar. And hope we have a good end of the year rally. And we'll see you in 2025 and talk about what's going to happen next in our next webinar. So stay tuned.
Okay, thank you very much.